The Korean Peninsula is a unique case in world history. North and South Korea were once a unified country, but were divided into two parts, North Korea and South Korea. More than 70 years of separation have created great differences between the two sides. Even though they once shared the same ethnicity and culture, this difference can be seen clearly in areas such as culture, language, and lifestyle. For example, when mentioning South Korea, many people know about famous music groups, singers, and idols. While North Korea is a mysterious country where every information is curious, Korea has a long history, with civilization appearing more than 3,000 years ago. In modern times, in the early 20th century, Korea became a colony of Japan. After World War II, Japan was defeated, and the peninsula was divided. The Soviet Union took over the north, while the United States took over the south. The Korean War, 1950 to 1953, cemented this division, creating two countries, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North Korea, and the Republic of Korea, South Korea. Although the two Koreas are still trying to negotiate peace and reunification, the prospect of this is increasingly dim. The obvious differences between North and South Korea can be seen in their language. Although they both speak Korean, more than 70 years of separation have caused their vocabularies to develop in different directions. In South Korea, many English loanwords are widely used, while North Korea tries to preserve its native Korean words. For example, in soccer, the action of 11-meter kick in North Korea is of Korean origin, while in South Korea, people use the word penalty borrowed from English. This makes it difficult for North Koreans who defect to South Korea to communicate, even though the two Koreas still share a common language. Comparing the similarities and differences between North Korea and South Korea not only helps us better understand the two countries, but also reflects the complexity of a people who once lived together, but are now divided by history. Politically, the differences between North and South Korea are stark. In the North, although nominally a multi-party state, there is actually only one ruling party, the Workers' Party of Korea, whose dominant ideology is Juche theory, founded by Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-un's grandfather. Since 2019, North Korea's revised constitution has declared the country a new type of socialist state, with Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il's ideology replacing the traditional Marxist-Leninist ideology. This sets North Korea apart from other socialist countries, including Vietnam. Meanwhile, South Korea operates under a presidential republic, with a multi-party system and free elections. During the same period that North Korea was led by 3 generations of the Kim family, in a hereditary model, South Korea underwent many major political changes, including several republics, a revolution, 2 coups, and finally a stable democratic regime. Economically, the two Koreas were at similar levels of development around 1973. However, since then, South Korea has made a strong breakthrough, becoming one of the fastest growing countries in the world, with a leading industrial economy and the emergence of large family-owned conglomerates such as Samsung and Hyundai. In contrast, North Korea has been slow to develop and was particularly hard hit in the 1990s. According to a 2019 economic report cited by NK News, per capita income in North Korea is only about 4% of that in South Korea. The North Korean economy relies heavily on coal exports and illegal arms trade, but figures are often unclear due to a lack of transparency. For example, it is estimated that only 11 out of 1,000 North Koreans own cars, while the majority use buses as their means of transportation. The image of North Koreans lining up at bus stops has become a familiar symbol. in stark contrast to the modern, vibrant scene in South Korea. In terms of military, many people believe that North Korea is stronger than South Korea. But is this true? The focus of North Korea's defense strategy is the military-first policy. This policy maximizes national resources to strengthen the military. Both North Korea and South Korea apply compulsory military service. According to Global Firepower, South Korea has about 500,000 regular troops and 500,000 reserve troops, ranking 6th globally in terms of military strength, after the US, Russia, China, India and the UK. Meanwhile, North Korea has about 1.2 million regular troops and 600,000 reserve troops, ranking 34th. Despite its large military, North Korea's military strength does not match its ranking in terms of manpower. North Korea is known for its artillery and ballistic missile systems, including about 80 medium and long-range nuclear-capable missiles, most of which are indigenously produced. However, North Korea lacks other advanced weapons and is constrained by its economy. Still, the location of its capital, Seoul, within range of North Korean artillery, keeps South Korea on guard. In contrast, South Korea spends heavily on defense, with a planned budget of $261 billion for 2022 to 2027, an average of $52 billion per year. This is more than 3 times North Korea's annual GDP, based on UN estimates. This shows South Korea's readiness to deal with any threat from North Korea, especially in the context of modern warfare, where power depends not only on numbers or missiles, but also on technology and economic capacity. One distinct difference between North Korea and South Korea is fashion. South Korea is known as the fashion capital of Asia, with a thriving fashion industry that sets global trends, especially in East Asian countries. Meanwhile, North Koreans often wear simple, modest clothing or traditional hanbok. Recently, stores selling high-end fashion brands have appeared in Pyongyang and some major cities. However, the dressing style of North Koreans sometimes has to follow specific guidelines. For example, in March 2023, the labor newspaper, the mouthpiece of the Korean Workers' Party, suggested that women should wear white, light blue, light green, or light pink during the spring days, while men should choose light gray or light blue. There are reports that North Korea applies strict beauty regulations, including banning hair dye and limiting hairstyle choices. But the accuracy of this information is still controversial. In terms of sports and entertainment, football is the common sport between the two countries. South Korea is superior, having hosted the 2002 World Cup with Japan, and achieved many impressive achievements. In North Korea, entertainment mainly revolves around the central television station KCTV, which broadcasts about 7 hours a week, usually from 3 p.m. The content is mainly propaganda, praising the leaders and educating patriotism. Films in North Korea are also limited to domestic works, with carefully selected actors. Although some foreign films have appeared recently, Korean films are still completely banned. South Korea, on the other hand, is a global entertainment center. From music, movies to fashion, South Korea's influence is spread throughout the world, beyond dispute. In terms of technology, the difference between the two countries is even more obvious. North Korea officially covered its internal internet since 2008, called the Gwangning Network, but it is not connected to the outside world. This makes it impossible for North Koreans to access international websites or use global social networks. With a population of about 25 million people, North Korea has only more than 3 million mobile phone subscribers, mainly concentrated in the capital Pyongyang. Phones here must be registered and approved by the government. Meanwhile, South Korea has more than 50 million people but owns nearly 60 million mobile phone subscribers, demonstrating the popularity of technology. South Koreans can freely access the internet, take advantage of modern technology, and connect with the outside world. North Korea or South Korea, which do you feel closer to? For me, North Korea is a fascinating topic, always containing many interesting things to explore. Thank you for following this story.